Hello students, welcome in my lecture series. In last part we have discussed about the normal probability, meaning of normal probability curve, then skewness in normality as well as kurtosis in normality. In this part we will discuss about the characteristics of normal probability curve. We have already discussed the concept of normal probability curve. The first characteristics of the curve is bell shape. The second characteristics of the curve is we can say that the measures of central tendencies are same. That means in normal probability curve, mean is equal to median is equal to mode. Mean is equal to median is equal to mode. That means the measures of central tendencies are concentrated in one point. And if we draw the perpendicular from the point where highest frequency is located on x-axis, then this perpendicular line is called ordinate of the curve. And the central tendency is at the point of intersection of ordinate and x-axis. Now, in case of normal probability curve, the skewness is 0. We know that how to calculate the skewness. Skewness is equal to 3 mean minus median upon SD. So here in normal probability curve, mean is equal to median is equal to mode, so skewness is equal to 0. Now what about kurtosis? In normal probability curve, the kurtosis is 0.263. That means kurtosis of the curve is 0.263. This line is called ordinate of the curve. Ordinate of the curve. And normal probability curve is perfectly symmetrical. Its axis of symmetry is this ordinate. So 50% cases lie at left side of the ordinate and 50% cases lie at the right side of the ordinate. Now if we consider 1 unit of normal probability curve, then height of if we consider the 1 unit of the normal probability curve, then height of this ordinate is equal to 0.3989. That means 39.89% frequencies are concentrated at the center of the curve. The curve is asymptotic. The curve is asymptotic. That means the curve approaches x-axis but do not intersect x-axis. Why it does not? It approaches x-axis or baseline but do not intersect the baseline. That means the curve extends from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now, why this curve does not intersect x-axis? There is a reason. If we take an example of height, then the average height or the majority of people possess the height between 155 centimeter to 180 centimeter. Measure the height of say more than 10,000 peoples, then at that time if you find the minimum height as when you measure the height of the people, then at that time if you find the minimum value of the person is 60 centimeter. That means there is no any person whose height is less than 60 centimeter. And maximum height is 188 centimeter. That means today measurement shows that minimum height is 60 centimeter and maximum height is 188 centimeter. That means there is no person whose height is more than 188 centimeter. But in future we cannot say that there will not be exist a person whose height is less than 60 centimeter, as well as we cannot say concretely say that there will not be exist a person whose height is more than 188 centimeter. That means there is a possibility of existing the persons whose height is less than 60 centimeter, as well as there is a possibility, we cannot deny the possibility of existing a person whose height is more than 188 centimeter in future. So the curve does not intersect the baseline or x-axis. So it is asymptotic curve. Now the measures of central tendencies are equal. That means deviation of the curve at this point is 0. Now in normal probability curve, the measures of central tendencies are concentrated in a point, in this point, and deviation at this point is 0. Therefore, we can consider the unit along x-axis or baseline as sigma or standard deviation. Sigma, say this type of notation, that means it is in terms of standard deviation. That means unit of the curve is taken as sigma or standard deviation, and therefore the curve extends from minus 3 sigma to plus 3 sigma. That means the area under the normal probability curve extends from or lie from minus 3 sigma to plus 3 sigma. In normal probability curve, mean is equal to 0 and standard deviation or sigma is equal to 1. When we use the unit as a sigma, then the raw score is converted into z score or sigma score, which can be calculated by or we can say z score is equal to x minus m upon standard deviation, x minus m upon standard deviation. It is a sigma score. That means instead of raw score, we can use we convert the raw score into sigma score or z score, say 1.2 sigma score or 1.3 sigma score, like this. Now the curve extends from minus 3 sigma to plus 3 sigma, and if we draw right side of the mean, the sigma scores are positive, and at right and left side of the mean, the sigma scores are negative. Here 1 sigma, then 2 sigma and 3 sigma. On left side it is minus 1 sigma, then minus 2 sigma and minus 3 sigma. Now the point of inflection occurs at plus or minus 1 sigma. That means this is one point and this is second point. The point of inflection occurs at this point, and at this point the curve turns from convex to concave. On the right side as well as on left side of the curve. That means plus or minus sigma are the point of inflection. For the simplicity of calculation, the total area under the curve from minus 3 sigma to plus 3 sigma is taken to be 10,000 arbitrarily. We can find the fractional part of the area under the curve by using the standard table. R.A. Fisher, the eminent statistician R.A. Fisher has developed the table which is known as standard table for finding the area between the two limits in terms of sigma score. We will discuss how to consult the table. R.A. Fisher developed the table, and he found that the percentage of cases between mean and plus 1 sigma is 34.13. That means the cases between mean and 1 sigma is 34.13%, and the cases between minus 1 sigma to mean is also 34.13%, because the curve is perfectly symmetrical. So area on both sides are at percentage between the score limit 1 sigma to 2 sigma is 13.59%. Consider the distance from minus 2 sigma to 3 sigma, then under the curve between the limits if we consider the limits 2 sigma to 3 sigma, then under the normal probability curve between the limits 2 sigma to 3 sigma, the percentage are 2.145. Similarly, here also the percentage are 13.59, and between minus 3 sigma to plus 2 sigma are 2.145%. From this we can see the percentage between the limits minus 1 sigma to plus 1 sigma are 68.26, and between the limits to minus 2 sigma to plus 2 sigma are 95.44%, and the percentage between minus 3 sigma to plus 3 sigma are 99.74%. That means only 0.26% are beyond the limit minus 3 sigma to plus 3 sigma. And with the help of standard table, we can find the area between given limits in normal probability. Middle 95% cases or 95% area lie between plus or minus 1.96 sigma. That means from minus 1.96 sigma to plus 1.96 sigma, there are 95% cases fall. Again, 99% cases fall in the area under the normal probability curve between the limits plus or minus 2.58 sigma. That means from minus 2.58 sigma to plus 2.58 sigma, there are 99 cases. Normal probability curve is a mathematical curve. So it can be written in terms of equation. If we know that if we consider the plane and take a straight line, any straight line, then this straight line can be represented by the equation ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, c are constants. Or we can take the circle at center origin, then its equation is x square plus y square is equal to r square, where r is radius of the circle. Similarly, the parabola, we can write y square is equal to 4ax. By the same way, we can represent the curve mathematically. By the curve is represented mathematically by the equation as y is equal to n upon sigma into root 2 pi multiplied by e raised to minus x square. Curve is represented by the equation n upon sigma into root 2 pi into e raised to minus x square upon 2 sigma square, where y is equal to y coordinate on the curve. That means it is ordinate, say. Then sigma is standard deviation of the curve. N is total number of cases in a sample or total number of individuals, and x is the x coordinate, and there are two irrational numbers, e and pi. This e is Napier base for the log, and its value is 2.7183. 2.7183, and pi is equal to 22 by 7, and its value is equal to 3.1460. Value of x, or say square, then we can find the frequency, and vice versa. If we know the frequency of particular square, then by using this formula we can calculate the corresponding square. Thus, in this way, in this part we have discussed about the characteristics of normal probability curve. In next part we will discuss about the application of normal probability curve.